Hello, happy Toe Talk Tuesday.
Happy Toe Talk Tuesday. Yay.
Okay, well, what toe are we going to talk about today?
Um, let's dive into what toe we are going to talk about today.
Let's do it. This is such a fun tool. All
Round.
right, I'm going to close my eyes and I'll say stop, okay?
Okay.
Stop.
Ooh, we're sticking on the right side. We did the right second toe last week. This week we're doing the right little toe, Christina.
This is making me laugh so much because the right second toe and the right little toe are the two toes I work the most with. What?
Never any coincidences here on Toe Talk Tuesday, and that was completely random for those of you like.
Oh yeah, my eyes
Stop, you watched
were
it.
closed tight. So the right foot again, external presentation, how you're moving through the world, the outward side, and the little toe is a little bit of an enigma toe. It is the earth toe. It's about trust and prosperity. It is a connection point to the earth. It is one that tends to be a little slower in presentation of changes. And it's also one that holds a lot of karmic and generational energy to it. And it's also the most commonly broken toe. Yeah, right. And my right baby toe, I have literally broken over a dozen times. When I was a kid, we had this long hallway. And at the end of this hallway, there was the living room, and the couch stuck out just enough that I would hit that right toe on it as I was tearing through the house. So as a child, I broke my toe dozens of times, my little baby right toe.
Ouch.
And with, you know, trust, prosperity, these are themes. And I wanted to find prosperity. Prosperity is all the things, all the wishes, all the things that we hope will come to us. Prosperity is relationships, health, money. It's all the things. A lot of times we think of prosperity as money because money is a relationship as humanity we're really working on, and it's really like this right now.
Yeah.
And so prosperity is wealth in all the areas that we desire, including health and relationships. And so prosperity and trust, lifelong themes for me, and indeed lifelong themes for my ancestry. You can see that because there's a lot of karmic energy, past life, ancestral energy in that toe. And you know that I
Do you
get
want to say more about how you know there's lots of ancestral, like how does that present
absolutely.
physically in the
Yeah.
toe?
So one, and see if this shows up for your toe, way down from the bottom of that toe is a deep twist. My toe, like if this is a regular toe, mine like nail is completely pointed outward, very unpresent and not and very future seeking. But it's not like the nail is turned, it's like way deep down in that toe. And so the closer to the foot, the deeper it is. And when I say deep, it's very early childhood to before this body, before this life, whether that's prenatally or before this particular body got to be the house for our soul. And so so that's that. Now I've done a lot of work with this toe, so that's also how I know some of the things that are in that soul and generational past. You know, what we perceive in linear time as the past, and yeah. It's very interesting. And I see this all the time in people. This is a toe that really holds so much information, a lot of inflammation for a lot of people, um, some nail anomalies, and it's such an interesting, the fourth and fifth toe, they're the toes where you really see the backstory on yourself or on someone else that you're looking at.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say, and it's interesting, like I automatically look at the second toe because in many people it is the most prominent, right? So it is often the first one you see, just your eye is attracted to it. And then almost immediately the last toe, the little toe. And like you said, like I'm trying to think, it's probably a handful of people that I've seen who have a straight, pointed, direct, like fifth toe. Most people will have some sort of twist. We all, the majority of us have trust issues. The majority of us have, especially coming from the ancestors. So there's no judgment. Like you always say, right? Like no judgment, just awareness.
Awareness.
I broke my right little toe by dropping a full Nalgene bottle on it, going through security at the airport. It fell out of, like I had it in the side pocket of my backpack. And when I put my backpack on this was when you could still take liquids on an airplane. When I put it through the conveyor belt and I pulled my backpack on the other side, the water bottle fell out and landed right on that toe. And I knew instantly. And I was on my way to my first National Society of Genetic Counselors meeting. I was still a grad student. I was so excited to go, right? Like, this is my future. This is like, I'm working towards this profession. I'm going to network and find a job. And then there I am, like hobbling all weekend. I had all these band-aids and like band-aiding my toe because I couldn't go to the hospital, and what were they going to do anyway, right? So splinting it by band-aiding it to the fourth toe. And I didn't have toe reading at the time as a modality, but I knew intuitively in that moment there was so much fear, there was so much scarcity, there was so much do I trust that people will receive me the way I want to be received? I'm presenting myself potentially for a job. Am I going to get the job? So some of it was self-trust, left toe. But so much of it was like, it was the prosperity piece. Like, I have so many eggs in this basket for my future, and they're all right here in this weekend. And here I am with this broken toe. So, quite a conversation starter when people see me like hobbling in. But I think some of the things that you said, because we all have this, I love how you defined prosperity. And I think this is really the key question for a lot of us working with this toe is, what does prosperity mean to you? And what does trust mean to you? And not in the definition that Christina described, right? Like, what is the priority list for you? What is right? Like, yes, prosperity can mean money, health, relationships. What does that look like for you? Where do you feel prosperous? Where do you feel not prosperous? What does trust mean for you? Who do you trust? Who do you not trust? Why? And we talk about staying in that energy of curiosity. And this is one of those toes that, because it takes a long time, because a lot of these issues are ancestral, are past life, are prelingual, before we, things that we've decided, beliefs we embodied before we consciously embodied them. This is a toe to really nurture, to really nourish, to really love on. And and it starts with that curiosity of just what's going on in there and what happened to you. When was the first time you broke that toe? When was the second time you broke that toe? When was the 12th time you broke that
toe? So I would love to share a practice. And it's been a really long time since I did this, but as you were talking, it dropped in and I remembered. And I'm getting like a nice oil, a jojoba oil or an apricot kernel oil, or just something that is luscious, or shea butters, cocoa butter, just something that has a lusciousness and a slickness to it. And then add an essential oil that feels prosperous to you. Maybe it's frankincense, maybe it's neroli, maybe you've got some rose absolute or something, like just something that feels prosperous for you. And again, I love how you talked about like what does prosperity look like to me? And that's a good question, whether you're into toes or not.
I have to
Because
say the oil that popped up for me when you said that, which is usually not in a line, usually not connected to prosperity, but mint popped up because
that's a beautiful prosperity herb. Keep going.
Is it? Well, yeah, exactly, because it's like a weed in my garden. And it smells beautiful when like you walk through it, but it's also like the more I pull it up, the more it grows. And so to me, like that was the first thing, because I was just noticing how much mint was out there about this earlier today. And so I was like, oh, the mint's really prosperous for me. So so even if you're not, don't know all of the oils, or if if you only have a few at home, like you don't have to go Google like what's a prosperity an oil that's linked to this energy. Like what does prosperity mean to you? What are you noticing?
Maybe prosperity means you have enough time to get rest, so you use some lavender. I mean, yeah. Or anything. Just
that sounds really prosperous right now. Yes, please.
Like just that intuitiveness. That's one of the things that I love so much about toe reading is there's a framework, and within that framework, there's a lot of room for that intuitiveness, and your intuition always is the priority over the system, because not all fungus in the second toe, for example, means the same for every single person. Not all presentations in that right fifth toe of a very small nail, or it's twisted, or there's calluses on the side, mean a certain thing. There's guidelines. What does it mean for you? And I love, whatever. So back to this practice, and then just with that oil and the essential oil, just turn on some meditative music, get in a comfortable position, whether that's lying down with your foot across your other knee, or sitting down like on the floor, whatever it happens to be, and just massage that toe and just give it some love. There's not a purpose, there's not a direction, there's not even an intention, except giving it some love, and just see what she shares or he shares with you.
That's so beautiful. And 1 minute, like, again, like it goes to what you're saying. Like it is about trust. So this is about, what does it feel like in your body to trust yourself with this toe as you massage it? And if after a minute you notice your mind wandering, like that's beautiful. You just spent a minute massaging your toe, right? Like, and giving yourself, like, how luxurious and prosperous is that? You had 1 minute, even if we were talking about this the other day, like, even if you're like, hiding in the bathroom, as a lot of moms often do, right? Like, I'm done, but I don't want to leave this quiet space. Spend an extra minute. I'm sorry, I can't come out. I'm massaging my toe.
Love that. I love that. Just and not asking the toe to do anything, not asking it to be any other way than it actually is. Can you imagine living in a world where you just get to be how you are without any expectation of how you should be or how you're lacking in some way or wanting from you? What do you have to tell me? If you got to just be. And that interaction with ourselves and with others can happen right by just doing that for our toes, and watch the magic happen when you just give love.
I love that. I love that. So your homework for this week, just sit with that right little toe. Ask yourself how you define prosperity, how you define trust. Are you and Christina's ritual. Get some oil, get some essential oils, get set a clock for a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever time and space you have to hold, and just love on that toe. And the question that comes to me that you shared with us when we did our certification training around the fifth right toe specifically is, do I depend on others for my safety? So that's a really powerful question. If you feel like going deeper, what is your story around your trust with and for others, around your safety, around your prosperity, specifically with this right toe?
Love it. Happy Toe Talk Tuesday.
Happy Toe Talk Tuesday. We need a toe sign. Bye, everyone. See you next time.